all together now. Ichi Nisanda, the great Antonio Inoki.
Ichi Nisanda.
For AEW news, I might have said TNA before. So we just talked about Mike Santana, who's super over, got into a physical confrontation with Angel Ortiz in AEW about, I want to do more. And this is according to Conan. He confirmed it, and Santana's like, I want to do more. And Ortiz is like, well, man, let's just do our thing. And we don't have to... We don't have to worry about, like, whatever. We're getting paid, da-da-da-da-da. They got in, like, a physical altercation about it, Santana was like, we deserve more. And Ortiz is like, I don't want to rock the boat. Santana gets his contract comes up, or he asks for his release quietly, and he gets it, whatever happened. He goes to TNA, and he's like, yeah, dude, I'm going to actually do something here. He does. He takes the ball, he runs with it. Every market they go to, Santana's super over just with the TNA audience in general. And he's over with the IWC. They're using him in NXT. He was super over with that crowd. He's just a great worker. I've been saying it for a long time. Watch this dude. He put on the weight. He's taking it seriously. He's bulked up. Santana's him, man. This TNA run, if you're paying attention, it's special. And he is made. And now he's running his own shows in Puerto Rico, if I'm not mistaken, right? And he's getting big names over there. Angel Ortiz, the last update we got from him, he's just, again, been persona non grata. Tony Khan doesn't have anything for him if he's not in LAX, right? An old TNA tag team or whatever. And he doesn't have anything for him, I guess. And Angel Ortiz got in, like, really good shape not that long ago as well. Like, he just got really shredded and, like, lean, He looks great, and who knows if he's doing that, because now he's realizing, and I always say people wake up at different times. So Santana saw the writing on the wall and is like, we urgently need to do something about this or it won't change. And maybe Angel was like, well, it's cool for now. But maybe Angel's starting to realize now, this dude didn't have for me. And so Michael Norton says, can we get Ortiz powerful back on AEW TV, please? And Ortiz says, that would be cool. ... Yeah, that would be cool. And Santana tried to fight for that, and then you fought him, and now look at what he's doing. And one of the biggest fumbles ever in AEW history. This is what people don't talk about too. This is why so much of the audience jumped off early, because they fumbled early on. LAX, okay, they're just like a fifth wheel in this faction. They're never gonna get the tag straps. What the Lucha Bros, they did decent stuff with, but they didn't push them in the way, because everyone wanted a Penta singles run eventually too, And there was just a lot of opportunities that they left on the table early as well that a lot of people don't talk about because it just happened quickly and people wrote it off immediately. It's weird too. Like, we got Swerve and Ospreay taking on who was that? Lee Johnson and Blake Christensen or Blake Christian. It's like miniatures of their opponents. You know what I mean? They're fighting like miniature versions of themselves. The Bucks booked their tag match right at the top of the hour. And then now these guys are going to go 50-50 with Ospreay and them. Well, because we weren't ready yet, bruv. I was tying me laces. What the No, just squash these guys. And then are we going to get the odd couple Swerve Ospreay win the tag belts instead of Ospreay, like, winning the world title like they signed him for $8 billion to do, when we already got Hangman and Omega did this story, and you guys are just rehashing the same shit? I just think, like, this should be a quick, they just beat these fools down, hit their finishes, get on the mic and go, we're not fucking playing. And then Ospreay and Swerve just cut promos like, we ain't playing, da-da-da-da-da. And then get out of there. Why would you, like, go to the limit with Blake Christensen or whatever the fuck? I don't know, and I'm feeling for Angel Ortiz. Collision is getting kicked off of Saturday for the NASCAR Cup. So again, NASCAR Cup Series is on the 28th. And NASCAR Nation is afterwards. They'd rather have a post-race discussion. And Collision is on Thursday again tomorrow night. So Saturday night's all right to fight. Remember that? So, yeah, Saturday, guys, make sure you're tuned into PWT during the daytime for the Night of Champions watch-along, watch party live stream show. And it will be spectacular. Okay, it'll be very fun, and I'm gonna get lit. We're gonna have some day sips, I think, if everything permits. And yeah, we might have a drunken Irishman running on this show. We might have some soup boys might pull up, or I might pull up over there. We might do a little double stream. I don't know. We'll double dip in some soup or something. We'll figure it all out, but it's gonna be an extravagant day, afternoon, if you will, no less. And yeah, Collision, I guess you're going to Thursday. Guys, Collision's going to Thursdays, and either we'll stay 2 hours or get shortened to an hour, or they're going to add a third hour to Dynamite and Collision's going to get canceled, or they add a third hour to Dynamite and just call it Collision. And or maybe, yeah, that, or they might start taping Collision and then airing them on Thursdays or something. That's what's going to start happening, especially with UFC. The way it's looking for UFC right now is Netflix wants, and I know I've said this before, but it's looking more and more like Phil was right about this shit, okay? Netflix and Phil, I don't miss. But yeah, I just think Netflix is going to want like 4 to 6 big fights per year, like fight nights, they'll call it, whatever, like a UFC Noche is a big one, and maybe, and that's sometimes in America, but it's like celebrating the Mexican heritage and all of that, the Latino heritage and all that. But just like, Tapuria in Spain, or like when Paddy Pimblett fights in the UK, that like Netflix wants those fights, 4 to 6 of them maybe, and if it's more, then good on them. So that's a big bag. WBD is going to try and get in on that. ESPN Plus, they might say, hey, we don't want these shitty Apex cards, and shout out Fight Oracle on X, because I saw him throwing this out there, and again, he's very savvy in this area, and he brought up a good, well, I mean, I brought this up on the show too, but just to back up what I've been saying, ESPN might go, hey, we don't want, or we'll take, we don't want Apex cards, but we'll take fucking Dana White's Contender Series and The Ultimate Fighter, and not The Ultimate Fighter, like no one watches that show, but I'm just throwing that out there. So there's another show called The Contender Series. It's really popular, and they might say, hey, just give us those live instead of like Apex fight nights or whatever. And then WBD might go, well, we want the Apex fight nights. We're desperate. You guys know what I'm saying? So the money TKO's about to bring in from this UFC deal, it's going to be insane. So Collision will be off Saturdays sooner or later. And again, I'm not celebrating that. If you guys go back in PWT, go back to look up the date, like when did Collision come out? And then go back to me being so hype, and that was my show, and I was pointing out, look, dude, this is how Punk, and before the sheets confirmed it, I was like, dude, I swear Punk and them have to be calling the shots a little differently there. Look at the way they're setting up the matches before they're cutting promos, and then it's going into the fucking the intro credits, and it's Elton John, and Saturday nights are all right to fight, and it's Joe, and it's Punk, and that was my show. Collision was my show. I was a collider. I was like, dude, this show's better than Dynamite. Let's go. Let's get Collision versus Dynamite and see. I was so amped. The possibilities were endless. And now it's just an afterthought, throwaway. I mean, they've been doing more story shit on it, but the problem is it's fucking dead. Now, they did pop a better rating, Collision did, based off their own merit and based off the fact, in my opinion, that they are starting to put some story shit from Dynamite. Like, you have to watch Collision now, or you're gonna miss shit that's going on overall in the story. Now, I get it. The stories might not be good enough to keep you locked in and to watch all the stuff. I get it. But they're starting to have like Moxley show up. And again, a lot of these beats to the stories in AEW, it's just shit happening. It's not really, but if you want to make the fair argument, like everything that's going on, like Moxley's cutting promos and shit on Collision. If you want to know the lore in its entirety, yes, you either go on their YouTube and watch the Collision clip, or you got to consume Collision to some degree, right? So I believe that is doing good for them, but in the old folks, I'm gonna break it all down. Like, I've been right about all this shit, because they popped a better number, and people might go, well, there's a lead in. Okay, but they popped like a bit of a bet, like in the 400,000s for Collision. That's a win for Collision these days. Honestly, it is. Okay. But here's the thing. The key demo skewed lower again. So Meltzer's going to go, all the cable numbers higher, but all the young people are watching too. They're just all on Max. He's going to fucking use that excuse. Meanwhile, when the number's low, well, everyone's on Max. But then when the cable number's higher, but the key demo's shrinking, it's these people who a decade ago were really into the New Japan shit, and they were really into this concept 6 years ago now, and now they're like late 30s even, maybe some of them in their 50s. And you're going to rope more people in by doing more story-based shit. It's just that simple. And the key demo, though, is going to shrink because the stories are bad and they're not hip. And that's why the key demo shrinking like it did. And the reason I'm able to claim this is because that's what we pointed out about WWE in the past. That's what Meltzer and all old people watched WWE before AEW was a thing and WWE kind of fell off. Older people were watching it and the younger key demo was falling off more and more and more, and they were going towards UFC. So we can point to that same thing happening in AEW. Why? Because it's just not good storytelling and booking and shit. Period. Point blank. The creative's bad. However, you are doing more story-based shit. And yeah, I hope I made that point. And we have the numbers to back up what your boy Philly's been saying for fucking ever, chat. But anyways, that's a long rant on Collision getting moved there. Longer than this match should have been. Buddy Matthews confirms, he says that his ankle's not recovering as well as he thought it would be. There's no mobility to it. If I can't have mobility, I can't move properly. Once it hits 3 months without healing, it becomes chronic. I thought I'd be back in the ring by April. So do you guys remember how he hurt his fucking ankle? That janky ass ring that they tried to say wasn't a janky fucking ring.
The best guy's Tony Khan.
Well, AEW doesn't use 20 by 20. They use 18 by 18 rings. Okay, so then it was a 16 by 16 because it looks smaller than their normal ring. And if they use an 18 by 18 for all their dynamites, then and not a 20 by 20 like WWE, then that was a 16 by 16 and it was janky, like Awful pointed out. And this motherfucker rolled his ankle on that shit and has not recovered since. It's literally boils down to that. And I hope he has a speedy recovery. It's not speedy, so I guess that hope is all lost, right? Unfortunately, I hope it's speedier than it's been, I suppose. Again, just pertaining to Tony Khan and just the culture of like his soccer team and their fandom and the Jaguars team and their fandom and AEW and their fandom. ESPN article grades NFL teams on how they treat players' families. Guess who got an F? So how NFL teams are reacting to survey on family treatment. So after home games for the first 5 seasons of Jesse Bates III's career, the former Cincinnati Bengals safety had to leave the stadium to find his family. Now in Atlanta, Bates meets his family in a suite in the Mercedes-Benz Dome after home games. Do you guys hear this? So she's just highlighting, here's an example. For the first 5 seasons of Jesse Bates' career, when he was on the Bengals in Cincy, he had to leave the stadium and go find his family. Hey, where are you guys? I'm in the parking lot. Or, hey, meet me out back by the dumpsters, He goes to Atlanta and shout out the Falcons. Bates meets his family in a suite after the games where there's food and shit like that at home games. So the opposite is true for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Oh, no. Oh, no. Not another fucking... Oh, no.
The best guy's Tony Khan.
Oh, no. According to veteran Jaguars player who asked for anonymity. Now, again, they asked for anonymity. Okay, I promise you, ESPN talked to folks because this is like a study done amongst a bunch of fucking teams. There's no way they're just gonna, big NFL paid them to make teams look bad and shit. They're not trying to do that, man, especially with all the, like when Lawrence got drafted too, it seemed like there was a bunch of, that's his name, right? I'm not the long blonde haired kid. There was so much like artificial hype sort of around Jacksonville too. The NFL doesn't want shit like this, right? The CTE thing, they tried to bury that. They don't want this out there. All these teams are going to straighten up after this. So listen, according to a veteran Jaguars player who asked for anonymity, Jacksonville scored an F for treatment of families on the report card, which was the second lowest grade. In Detroit, you have to shoot your way out of the building. They hand your kid a gun. No, but like, how do you score lower than an F? An F minus? Jesus. I know we're supposed to be the ones to tell our family certain things, but when there's 30 other things that us as players have to worry about, and then we all tell our family information at the last minute, things can get miscommunicated in the information. When we have to be the person to give them the tickets or be the person to do all these things, stuff happens. You know what I mean? I want to make sure that my family's okay so I don't have to worry about them. These security guards ain't letting my damn wife in. Yeah, like they don't give a fuck, man. I've got to worry about that, or we've got to call a team rep to handle this. It shouldn't happen. Family should be already taken care of. Oh, well, we're a family here in AEW. Well, I'm in Mexico for CMLL, and when I get back, I promise I'll draft a 7th round pick who got cut from the Lions, and we'll pick him up. Yeah, they scored an F, I guess. One of the teams that scored an F for family. F is for fuck yo family. F is for fuck them. Right? Oh, shit, man.
Poor people don't like AEW.
EC3 has explained the biggest problem which stops AEW from becoming so successful, comparing the two companies, WWE, of course. So EC3 says, I think AEW has this issue where like they sign a young person and they throw them on TV. There's no trial and error. There's no room for improvement. It's always what's expected out of a TV match based on that style, and I don't know how they can bring about prospects to increase their value. WWE at least has the NXT system where they're kind of running loops a little bit. Exactly. You have to establish people. You have to get them on the road. You have to see how they react before you just throw them on a can. It's just craziness. It's madness. Everyone's pointing it out. They don't develop young talent. So it's just no longer a fucking myth that anybody can try and debunk. So Sidney Akeem, the former Reggie, the former Scripps, says, if we are talking about entertaining, then put me on your television show because I'm guaranteed to drop jaws. Tony Khan, it's time. And so he showed up in TNA randomly, was in a X Division match. He was in the Ultimate X match. He didn't sign there. He's not with WWE or anything like that. But now he's tagging Tony Khan and saying it's time. And I think he thought Tony was going to scoop him and push him to the moon because of this crazy acrobatic shit. Because everybody knows. The boys all know what Tony likes. That's why they do this style. Now, I won't lie. Ibushi didn't look half bad either. And Trent, I don't care what anyone says. He is a good pro wrestler. Okay, I get it. If you don't like Chuck Taylor and shit, that's fine. But Trent has always been solid. And a guy that if he didn't want to do all that goofy shit for so long, they could have seriously pushed him in AEW as well. Especially with a name like Trent Beretta. I mean, come on. But they like had his mom driving him to the, it's like you couldn't be any fucking, you couldn't have shit on this guy's career anymore. Anyways, though, speaking of getting their career shitted on, Sidney Akeem has not been shit on yet, but I think you're entering that territory when you're tagging Tony Khan begging. And I love Sidney Akeem. I've played his highlights on this show multiple times for a reason, because he does this flippy shit, but he's like a legit high-level Cirque du Soleil guy who is trained properly in NXT, and it works, you know? Just watch some of this crazy shit. Fuck a mother, cause I'm down for my. I can't sing that one. I ride for my. Right? I can't sing that one, chat. But you guys know what it is. Dude, that's pretty crazy. That's some Ninja Max shit. You know what I'm saying? So AEW's Tony Schiavone flew cross country to adopt a rescue dog from Monroe's Motley Zoo. And Tony Schiavone, round of applause for him, man. He went and adopted and saved his dog. And that's good for him, man. I know people clown Schiavone now for his work. That's one thing, but he's a good dude, you know? I don't know him, but from all accounts, any shoot interviews, anytime anyone's talked about him, it's not like he's a raging piece of shit. Tony pays him well and he goes to bat for his guys. You can't blame him for that. Moving along here, AEW has reportedly been way more picky with signing former WWE talent. The reason for this is reportedly due to past situations of former WWE talent signing with AEW and not enjoying their time there before returning to WWE. Yeah, go figure. It's almost like a bunch of us said that was going to happen, and then we got fucking attacked and called E-drones and called assholes, and now it's just that's what's reported on. Bryan Danielson took over the crowd at AEW Grand Slam Mexico. Why the fuck didn't we play this on the last show? I don't know, but here you go. Here's Danielson just cutting a promo.
Oh, Mexico. Gracias. for Darling, la bienvenida a AEW RSS a la Arena Mexico!
Oh, did I play this? Okay, good for me then. There you go. Shout out Danielson. So Fozzy, Chris Jericho's Fozzy will be on a UK tour with special guests, Tail Gunner, Marissa and the Moss. Yeah, youth gone wild. Look how young we are. Yeah, look how young the one guy to my right is, but actually he just looks good for his age. He's really 46. Yeah. So they're going all over the UK, dude. All of February. So a February UK tour. He could show up at the Royal Rumble as a surprise, do this tour, come back, build up to WrestleMania, have one last match, put Dominic Mysterio over, retire, and then just sign a Legends deal and do Fanatics and have Fozzy play at the fucking WrestleManias and get inducted and do all that. Jericho, do that, man. Just redeem everything, okay? We know that you miss that shit and you see the business WWE's doing and you want to be a part of it. And we know that you're the youth and the youth's gone wild, bro. And you need to run wild, brother, all over fucking WWE one last time. Yeah, dude, debut a new single as your theme song. Have it go to #1. Produce the theme for an upcoming NXT PLE as well, and do that sort of thing. Reinvigorate Fozzy, reinvigorate your boat tour, and you can have people work your boat shows from TNA and AAA and WWE, right? And NXT and Evolve or whatever the fuck you want to call it, right? They can all go and do the boat shows with you. Just do it one time, man. Do it. Redeem yourself, dude. You disappeared from AEW TV for a reason. You knew, dude. You know. The writing's on the wall. The writing's on the easel. You know, bro. But you acting like you don't know, so come back and tear the club up faux show at Live next year. WrestleMania Double or Nothing, baby. Do it, dog. And I know chat's freaking out and they don't want that, but I want to see it happen. And the schedule works. But I wouldn't be shocked if Tony's like, 10 million, Jericho, 9 million. I would not be shocked. 10 million, just stay here, please. Please, you're our first Hall of Fame inductee.